Kia ora everyone, we're back at Start to Front here. Team SENZ on the ground in Saint Denis, just outside of Paris. Logan Swingles here with Daniel McHardy, who's going to be calling the game. Great spot, Daniel. We're right on halfway. Epic view. What do you make of it?
Incredible. It's the first time I've been here in a long time. I was high up in the rafters as a young fan some 18 years ago. To be here for the start of the Rugby World Cup, simply can't wait. It's quite humbling, actually.
One thing that I know a lot of listeners are probably quite curious to know about is your process of getting ready for a game. I've spent the week with you so far, and quite often you're your head down on your laptop, you're looking at guides. How much work goes into, working on that pronunciation?
Yeah, well, that's very important. Pronunciation of players' names, hugely important. Rugby gives you an advantage because they name their teams a few days in advance. You know, we've just come out of the Football World Cup, which we had here on SENZ. You get teams an hour before kickoff, and so you need to understand every single person in the squad. Now that I've got the teams, I can drill down a little bit further into those players. But, the first thing we can attempt to do is try to get their names right. Now, in the heat of the battle, sometimes you misspeak and you fall over your words, but you need to make a genuine attempt to get them right. Plus, the French names just sound great, don't they?
I was going to say, is there any French names in particular you're sort of struggling to wrap your tongue around?
Can I tell you that at the end of the game? Yeah.
We'll do a review. But outside of the pronunciation, we love to hear about the stories of players as we get into things with the game. How deep do you go into a player's history to get little nuggets of knowledge there?
Well, you can go as deep as you like, really. I find more information the better, because the game's going to determine how much you rely on those little nuggets of information. If the game's free-flowing and end-to-end, you tend to focus on the game. If it's a bit sort of station to station, a bit staccato, a bit slow, whistle-happy, that's when you will pull out your little nuggets. I was hoping that Sibili Falatia would make the starting bench for France. He is not, because oddly enough, he's the uncle of Mofana, the midfielder. Go figure. An uncle and a nephew in the same squad. That's come via the official media guide. So you stumble on those little things, but they can be hugely important. Rugby overall can be a little bit difficult. I don't think the sport does a great job at stats keeping themselves. It can be quite difficult finding out how many test tries someone has scored, for example. I think across the board the sport could do a lot better at that. But yeah, information is power to a commentator.
And of course, alongside you providing expert commentary, All Black great, halfback, Justin Marshall. We know he brings a wealth of knowledge and he has his own personal style and flair. How excited are you to be sitting next to him here?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've known Justin a long time. I've interviewed him a fair bit. This is the first game of footy we've done together. And I think a big part of my role is actually to fashion some sort of relationship, a natural instinct on air. Me to button off and him to chime in when he adds in his expertise. So really looking forward to that. And I'm just stoked to be here. The best friend for a radio commentator is being at a venue. We're here to paint pictures, aren't we? With words, not just the action on the field, but if a fan's screaming at the top of row Z, we want to be able to bring that to our listeners and our audiences. So it's going to be wonderful to have Justin here. Wonderful. It's going to be wonderful to have the awesome crew of commentators we've got lined up throughout the duration of this tournament for sure.
Just quickly, before we wrap up here, what do you make of the build-up from the All Blacks? We know of that record loss in Twickenham, and then they've been speaking about their long build-up, and they're just, dying to get out there. We saw Artie Savea look like he had ants in his pants yesterday. We're so close to it. Dalton Papali'i is talking about putting his family's name on the world stage there. This clearly means a big deal to them. What do you reckon we're going to see? Are we going to see more? Was that just a little blip on the radar, or is there more potholes on the road to come?
Well, only time's going to tell on that, but because I can understand both sides of the equation. New Zealand had some really great stretches during the Rugby Championship, including against the side that humbled them last time out in South Africa. This French side is a tough nut to crack. I want New Zealand to start well, to start fast, to have the hosts on their back foot, doubting themselves, and getting the fans to sort of doubt in their own team's belief. This is such a wide open tournament. I really don't know. Opta, the stats gurus, how's this? They have their supercomputer has run the tournament 10 million times, and they have come out with this equation. Ireland win the tournament 21.7% of the times. France win it 21.4% of the time. South Africa 20.5%, and New Zealand 20.2%. So basically, this tournament is harder to pick than a broken nose.
Yeah, it's going to be very close. And I see Fiji might be about 10%.
I hope so. No,
Oh,
I hope so.
wow.
I can't wait for that. It's going to be fantastic stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And of course, you can catch all of it on SENZ. Daniel McHardy and Justin Marshall will be live here from Stade de France, Saturday, 6 a.m. Kickoff, 7:15 a.m. here on SENZ.
SENZ. It's Kiwi for sport.